completely different quality of football. You'll see better running, harder tackling, better scores. These are two real championship sides. I think two of the top 6, maybe two of the top 4 teams in the country. I think we'll see a high standard of football. I don't think it's a winner-take-all insofar as whoever loses the game, I think, are going to be a big threat through the back door. Obviously, it will be easier and better, and especially for Kildare, there is more for them for winning a Leinster championship because they haven't won in a while.
And
Dublin,
they've also had to be tried the back door a couple of times recently.
Yes, and I got to the semi-final last year, of course. But Dublin, no team ever wants to win or lose a championship match. So I think we are going to have a really, really high-quality game.
And they certainly don't want to lose a championship match. In the kind of atmosphere that's here in Croke Park today, Pat, there's a very good crowd here, obviously. It is very warm down there on the pitch. It
is, yeah, but I wouldn't sort of agree with Colin. I believe it's better to go through the front door as Leinster champions, to get the Leinster final and win the Leinster championship. I just think the back door is still dependent on getting a good draw. I know you can build up momentum or whatever like that, but I think whichever team, both teams today...
I understood that you thought going through the front door was the way.
Yeah, it is the way. But you look at last year, the 4 provincial winners lost the quarter-finals. 4 losers ended up in the semi-finals. So, you know, getting games on the road, building up a bit of momentum, winning. But
it's all dependent on getting the draw. I mean, Cork won the All-Ireland last year, and through the back door they got Cavan, Wexford. Do you know, they were Roscommon, handy draw.
Colin, let's have a look at the Dublin team. As we can see, the Dublin team are out already, still waiting for Kildare to make their appearance.
Poor pass by Dennis Bastick. It took a reflection and went to O'Gara. He was falling actually when he got the belt. Handy free enough, I felt.
First kick of the day for Bernard Brogan. It's an easy point. A puff of wind, not a drop of rain. It's ideal for a Leinster football semi-final. O'Gara, Hugh McGuillan being a little bit adventurous. Long ball. Little jink inside, lovely skill. There's a chance for Diarmuid Connolly. Just for a moment you thought this was going to hit the back of the net.
Yeah, it's a brilliant pass from O'Gara. And look at that sheer talent that Connolly brings to it. Loses marker with just a shake at the hips. Great chance, no score though.
Alan Brogan in a little bit of space. Good defending by Kildare. 1-to-1 battle between Michael Foley and Diarmuid Connolly, and Foley won the exchange. Kildare counter-attack. James Kavanagh rambling away from corner forward, giving it to Owen Flaherty on the turn. The ball is turning as well and curling between the posts. Level for the first time in this Leinster semi-final. Hugh McGrillen, Selbridge man. Cornerback who loves to go forward. Is that a free from where the ball landed?
I think it is.
O'Gara coming in to challenge just as the cornerback was delivering the ball. He's calling O'Gara.
Oh yeah, he's saying this is your second, third, and you just notice it there. He was using his fingers to indicate this is your, you know, persistent fouling. Fair enough.
Alan Brogan. Good block down by Lynch. Quick ball from Brogan to the other Brogan. The brothers combine. What about the finish? Not bad. Straight between the posts. They have an understanding. Sheer class. You're looking at Shane Connolly in his first championship season. This is his 3rd match. As we mentioned earlier, yet to concede a goal. Emmett Bolton, Gary White, easily dispossessed. Here's Paul Flynn. To his left is Alan Brogan. Here's Flynn. Here's a goal. Wonderful strike by Paul Flynn. And when they run at Kildare, there is trouble. Big trouble for Kildare. Great finish by Flynn.
Oh, and he looked like he had made it. Look at the rob by Flynn. And he missed solos here, Martin. You think the chance is gone? Alan Brogan's beside him, doesn't need him, pops up to him, bang.
It looked like he lost it. Alan Brogan was there in support, but a cracking finish by Paul Flynn. Brennan. James McCarthy to his right. Ballymun Kickham's man. You might recall John McCarthy of the Dublin team of the 70s and 80s. That's his son. This is Bernard Brogan, son of another legend, Bernard. And they know how to play football. 3 points for Bernard Brogan in the opening 24.5 minutes. McCarthy to Brogan, names synonymous with Dublin football since the mid-70s.
But how good is that, man? Like, that's just fantastic.
Change of free taker here. Johnny Doyle taking over from Ono Flaherty. Scored 4 points against Wicklow, 4 points against Meath, Johnny Doyle. This one he gives a little chip, and his name is now on the score sheet for this Leinster semi-final. Alan Brogan, Paul Flynn, Ono Gara stepping by the challenge, loses possession. Seemed to be a fair challenge, Kevin, wasn't it?
It looked perfect to me. McLaughlin is a powerful corner back. The ball is on offer and he goes in hard off it. I'll be very surprised if this is a foul. Not at all. He just knocked the ball clean out of Ono Gara's hand. These are very handy frees that pad out the lead. Very
Gives you an idea of the distance and the angle for Bernard Brogan. It's an easy one for him. 4 points in this open. Coming all the way up, Stephen Cluxton. Scored 3 points, 45s against Laois. Swings the boot to the ball and gets his first point in this Leinster semi-final.
Intensive first half of football, and you'd have to say only half time, but advantage Dublin.
Yeah, very much so, and it's a very enjoyable, good, hard game. I just make a general point. Every game that I've been at this year has been more or less destroyed by fussy refereeing. And if the referee got out of the way and let these players get on it, we'd have a great game of football. But we had Ollie Lyons booked when he got out in front of Bernard Brogan. We had Ono Gara booked for nothing. We had fussy refereeing, easy frees. I just wish referees in general would get off the stage and let fellas play and stop giving out yellow cards which turn to red cards and end up being rescinded at meetings. It's destroying the game. The fellas are not dirty. There's no need for all these yellow cards. When was the last dirty game we ever had in the GEA? Fellas today are going out and they're going hammer and tongs for the ball, and any time there's a free, it's fairly accidental sort of stuff. There's no need nearly for a referee in this game.
I'll talk about the game.
That's my rant for today.
Thanks, Colin, for that.
I was waiting for a few
I'll tell you, I
weeks
mean,
for that.
it was an interesting and it was an enjoyable game. At the start of the game, now we know Kildare are a second half side, so they're clinging to that hope that they're going to improve. They were also clinging to the hope that if they get so much possession, eventually they'll start scoring and they'll have less wides. But at the start of the game, I said the key why Dublin, I believe, would win because they have better forwards than Kildare, and that's what's the difference between the two teams so far. Dublin, 4 forwards have scored from play. 1 forward, 1 solitary point from Kildare. And the big difference is tactically. Tactically, McGeaney got it right with the kick-outs from Cluxton for a while. But what McGeaney sets up is he sets up his stall defensively, playing a sweeper. Now, playing a sweeper in Croke Park, it's a lot of room to cover. That's number one. But how Dublin are counteracting it is they're breaking from defence, they're breaking the tackle, they're creating extra men, they're up in support. But what they're doing then is they're making the sweeper work, and they have some wonderful diagonal ball there in the wing, getting the sweeper away from.
Comes back out first, James Cavan. Pádraig O'Neill. Emmett Bolton steps away from the challenge. Flicks it inside to Owen Flaherty. Bolton was gone for the return. Flaherty takes the opportunity with the space that was provided to score his 3rd point of the game. The centre forward is playing quite well. Ono Gara. Whoa, high challenge there now. This is about the yellow card that was soft in the first half. There's a second yellow card and now there's a red for Ono Gara.
There's no question this is a yellow. All right, there's no question there whatsoever. It could even be a straight red if they wanted. So double yellow, followed by red, he's gone.
Just when they seem to be gliding to a Leinster final, the second half has taken on a whole new image. Here's Ono Flaherty, getting by several challenges. Can he score from this? Fantastic score by Owen O'Flaherty. Eamon Callaghan might have scored 4 against Meath, but now it's Owen Flaherty that has registered 4 points. Eamon Fennell, first touch, second touch, to be more precise. Down first, Paul Flynn. Here's the counter-attack. Here's Brogan. Will he go for it? Oh, just barely kept off the line. Hugh McGrillen. It was number 2, Andrew McLaughlin, that was on the goal line. Johnny Doyle. Down far is Eamon Callaghan. He does touch the ball in this Leinster semi-final and almost loses it, but battles well to get back into the match. Needs a little bit of support. Out this side, it's Emmett Bolton. Floats it into the air for James Kavanagh, and he gets it without even contesting. Laying off is Eamon Callaghan. 4 points in the second half. Is this his first? Here it goes. There it is. Eamon Callaghan has come to life like he did against me.
He certainly has. He was involved 2 or 3 times there, and there's a player inside number 18 if he wants to use him, Ronan Sweeney. He doesn't. He takes the point. What a great save by McLaughlin from Alan.
Played 1-7-7. Better play out of Kildare. It's over. We had to wait just to ensure that Robert Kelly scored his first point in this Leinster semi-final. And the Lily Whites are celebrating in the Hogan stand. Barely kept in, superbly kept in by James McCarthy. Paul Flynn, goal scorer in the first half. Dublin could do with a score, and they've got it. But what about that for a classy point by Paul Flynn? 58,723 here in Croke Park. 2 against 2 here. Robert Kelly knocks it down for Hugh Lynch. Needs a little bit of support. It's Emmett Bolton floating one in. It curls in beautifully. Wonderful score by Emmett Bolton.
Isn't easy. It's on the wrong side of the field for the right footer. And I don't think he's the most natural of free takers, but he can put them over. He's a big-time shooter.
Here he comes. Dropping a little bit short. There's a punch by Hugh Lynch. The ball just gathered up by that man again, Paul Conlon. Impeccable free taking by Stephen Cluxton. 3 points against Laois, 2 points against Kildare.
You nearly fancy him for top scorer for Dublin for the season, the way.
Talk about blanket defence. We didn't have it in the first half, but Dublin, because of being numerically disadvantaged, are all falling back. Here's Alan Brogan. Bernard is over to the left, and Alan Brogan takes his points. And Bernard looks to the gods and says, brother, oh brother, why didn't you pass it?
I think he's right. I think Alan Brogan is right in this instance, and I can understand the frustration Bernard might feel. But there was a Kildare defender just moving towards Bernard all the time. I think he did the right thing. He's put out the lead to 4, and that'll be important.
Quick ball, if they're going to expose Dublin, because Dublin are going back. 14 out of the 15 almost seems to be going back. Still Kildare continue to use the short pass. Eamon Callaghan, chance of a goal, and he stuck it!
What a goal!
Out of the blue!
Oh, what a goal!
Eamon Callaghan from way out found the corner, and Kildare rejoice in every corner of Croke Park. What about this for a goal?
Oh,
beating a keeper of the calibre and quality of Stephen Cluxton, and it had a goal in this match, and it had it
fantastic.
in Kildare's technique.
To beat Cluxton, as you said, from that distance, it has to be special. 1 point now, anything can happen.
111 Dublin, 110 Kildare.
Bravery there by 3.
Minute and a half left. We're into injury time in Croke Park. James Kavanagh wins the tough ball. There's a little bit of a follow through, but James Kavanagh, to his credit, gets up because Kildare need an equaliser. Tomas O'Connor is in there to win the high ball. Comes back out to Eamon O'Callaghan. Is he the man? He is the equaliser. 1 goal and 2 points for Eamon Callaghan. Hardly touched the ball in the first half, but what about this for a second half performance? The same performance he gave against Meath in the Leinster quarter-final when he scored 4 points on the trot. 71 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh no, oh no!
The referee has given a free, and Kildare protest passionately for the foul on Bernard Brogan. But was it a foul, Kevin?
I don't, Marty, he has two hands spread out. Both men are going for the ball. Look at how, if you know the game, how could you call a free at 14-all with seconds left in it? A handy free to win a big Leinster championship game. It's crazy.
Bernard Brogan with the kick to put Dublin perhaps into the Leinster final. Here it comes, straight between the posts.
Well, I wonder, can we see that again?
6 points for Bernard Brogan. This is the incident again. Was this?
Not at all, Marty. Sure, there's only the minimum contact. You'd have to be a serious effort to give a free there.
Kildare have about 40, 50 seconds left. Can they get the ball here? Tomas O'Connor gets a touch to it. Gathered by Ger Brennan. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. And Dublin are in the Leinster final. Bernard Brogan's last-minute free wins it by centimetres. That's what Bernard Brogan is saying. Kildare players protest with the referee. Andrew McLaughlin is gone over there because he was the one that was marking Bernard Brogan. To his credit, it was only just a chat. But in some ways, it takes away from the victory of Dublin, that they have qualified for the Leinster final. Interestingly, Cormac Riley is being brought through the tunnel in the centre of Cusack stand rather than over at the Muhammad Ali corner, as they call it. Tears of incredible disappointment and heartbreak for Kildare. Surely they deserved a draw out of this.
They did.
After Kildare 1-11.
And our thanks to commentators Marty Morrissey and Kevin McStay. Pat Spillane and Colin O'Rourke with me here in studio. Pat, we'll talk about all the ups and downs, the roller coaster that this second half has been in a moment, but that was dramatic.
Yeah, can I compliment both teams on an absolutely fantastic game of football? It was entertaining, it was enjoyable, it was intense, it was enthralling, it had so many talking points. Credit to both teams and credit to Kildare for that second half. Do you know, we said they could never reduce Dublin to, so they kept them to 5 points in the second half. They scored 1-7. A great performance from both teams. At the end of the day, it should have been a draw. An incorrect, I think, a very soft free handed to Dublin to win the game. And it goes back to what Colin was saying at the start of the game. There's physicality in this game of football. Let's allow some element of physicality. Let's not try to ref like as it's strictly come dancing or something like that, that there's supposed to be no contact. That wasn't a free, that wasn't a foul. The game should have been a draw. Full stop.
Colin, it's a great way to win. Fair play to Dublin, but jeepers, it's a hard way to lose.
It is a hard way to lose, yeah, and it was a smashing game. Two proper teams, and you know, I said before the game that these teams are going to be at the business end of things, quarter-final, semi-final stage. Kildare have to go the roundabout route, but it just confirms what I said at half-time. People maybe thought it was a rant, but the game has been destroyed by bad refereeing. That was a game of great physicality, great manliness, great courage, and without any cynicism in the game whatsoever. You know, O'Gara put off for a second yellow card. He shouldn't have got the first one, and then a free at the end. It was just an absolute joke. So, like, if you had good refereeing, we'd have those type of games on an ongoing basis, because these teams went at it hammer and tongue and should have been let at each other.
Kieran McGeeney kept his team out and the whole panel of Kildare players for a bit of a team talk, a sort of a debrief or whatever. Clearly, they're saying to themselves, we have not been done here, but look, there's obviously defiance coming out of that.
No, what he's doing is he's insinuating the positives. You know, they played very well in the second half. They're not out of the championship. They'll regroup, reorganise tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you, as Colin said, there will be a threat in the championship. I thought there was two teams that were clear ahead of the rest, Kerry and Cork. On the basis of today, Kildare and Dublin have a great shout for Sam Maguire as well this year.
They do, Colin. The only thing from Kildare's point of view is they had to go this route before, and it's like, we got to do this all over again.
Yeah, but they'll come out of this game emboldened by their second half performance. You know, I think they went about 17 minutes near the end there without getting a score. They looked dead and buried, and they weren't going anywhere because the Dublin defence was superb. Their tackling all over the field when they were a man down was just brilliant altogether. But Kildare stuck ahead, as we knew they would, and as we said at half time, and they kept at it, and they got a brilliant goal from Eamon Callan, and then a point which should have equalised the game. And it was a day, if everybody going out said, you know, we have to come back next Sunday to watch this again, well, you'd have 68 or 78,000 next Sunday for a game like that.
Bear in mind that this is the second time in 3 years that Kildare failed to beat Dublin with an extra man. That, you know, mentally, that will be a big problem. It'll be in the back of their minds. And
Well, Pat, did you think you were in for going to be in for a more comfortable last few minutes of that game than you ended up being?
Yeah, I thought we had worked it very well when we were down the man, and it was very disappointing to concede the goal. He came from a long way with that to get the goal. But I mean, I think it was great character to concede a point again after it and then go up and get the winner. I think it was great to win that kick out, and I suppose it's good for character for me. I think that might be the basis of it.
Is that especially given the criticisms you had for the way you finished off games?
Yeah, I thought we had handled that game really well. I mean, it was really disappointing to concede the goal, but I thought we had handled it well given the situation we were in and the heat that was out there. I thought we had worked very well as a team to shut it down. Disappointing to concede the goal, but great to go up and get the winner.
Initially, it looked like Kildare responded very well when Owen O'Gara came off or was sent off, but you then in turn responded to that.
Yeah, I think they got a couple of scores, probably on the break after we should have scored. I mean, I think just straight after he got sent off, we had a very good goal chance, and then they went straight up and got a point, and they got another point. But I think once we got a point or two, it settled us down, and I thought we controlled the game well after that.
Had you been tempted to take O'Gara off at half time, given that he was in the yellow and been involved in a couple of close tackles?
No, I mean, I didn't think I didn't see the incident now, whether right from where I was standing, it was somebody else that actually bumped into him, but again, I didn't see it, so no, we weren't tempted to take him off, but it's disappointing he got sent off.
We noticed at the start Kildare were sending a lot of balls into their left corner forward, presumably because you had a new man making his championship debut at corner back. He responded well though, didn't he?
Yeah, look, Paul is for a guy playing his first championship match. He's actually a very experienced guy. He's played a lot of against a lot of good quality forwards, and he's a great temperament. And I'm glad that he really went out and did his job very well today.
Speaking of temperaments, the two Brogan brothers combined well. We saw Bernard get the point at the end despite being double marked for a lot of the second half. Alan's role this year as a sort of playmaker, it seems to be suiting the team.
I think he can mix it around for Alan. He comes out and he's a bit of a playmaker, and then he can go in and he got a very important score for us there today when he punched it over the bar, and he was unlucky maybe not to get a goal, but look, he's a very versatile guy and he's a key guy for us.
Well, Pat, well done today.
Thanks a million.
Yeah, let's have a look at that last score of the game, because everybody in the stadium, I think at this stage, was shouting for blow it up, ref. We'll take more of this the next day.
Yes.
But didn't work out like that.
Well,
let's look at the free.
We'll be accused of that we've looked at video replays, and the referee has only an instant second to make a decision. When we were watching the game, we said it wasn't a free. If there is contact, it was a minimal amount of contact.
A slight tangle of legs.
Was there a free, a foul, an intentional foul by Andrew McLaughlin? No. Was it a free? Was it a foul? No. Should it have been a draw? Yes.
Yeah,
Fair
well,
enough.
it's just when the...
Kieran McGeaney with Joanne.
Kieran, are you angry with how that ended?
Yeah, but it's hard, but you're not allowed to say anything about it, so you just have to take it on the chin. That's all you can do.
Well, you can see if it was a free or not. I mean, you had a good angle on it.
Yeah, but we can go back over the last couple of years too, and look, you have to just chat to the players in there. We have decisions going against us on a regular basis. As a manager, you look back, we missed free kicks and stuff like that, and other things. As they did at wides too. But it just seems like it's always hard to be very objective. When you lose, you can't cry about referees because then everyone thinks you're a sore loser. This is going to be the fourth year on the trot that decisions have went against us. And I know people can go back to the Meath game and say decisions went with us or whatever. But any big decision just seems to go. But that's I don't really have much time for those officiating it. That's probably as much as I'm allowed to say.
There were also some complaints from your line about the